What really makes me passionate about AI is I started working with AI probably, I'm going to say in 2001 or 2002, actually it might have been a bit later, 2003, but I was working at the time with government agencies, with the US military, and I was working on AI projects back then. Now, please understand that back then it was Bayesian based and it was very different, very rudimentary compared to what you have now. And the big leap forward that happened is the fact that we have faster processors, the fact that we have more memory, more disk space, more everything. So we can process, we can store, we can analyze a whole lot of information more quickly. And the key thing to artificial intelligence is its ability to be trained. So, I mean, there's various artificial intelligence out there, but the one I'm talking about is the fact that you can, pass a lot of information through the artificial intelligence where it learns, in effect, it gets trained based on the information that you provide it. Depending on the industry you're in, this will change the way you work. And it's gotten to a point where not only is it on the news continually, not only are you going to see a lot of legal questioning as to who owns what based on, and the whole point is, I mean, these are game changers. As a sci-fi writer, some of you may know, if you've read any of my books, that I tend to dismiss AI and I tend to laugh at things. In Infinity Stacked, for example, my artificial intelligence, one of the main characters, Elenu, actually asked the AI to meditate, and meditation, according to the AI, was to do nothing. And so the AI started doing nothing, and of course caused all kinds of pandemonium on a spaceship where it was supposed to be running everything on the spaceship. It couldn't because it was quote unquote doing nothing. It would cause problems. So enough with my my side story on what I've written in the past. But this ChatGPT is just fabulous. It has the remarkable ability to regurgitate information. And this is, I'm going to do this live. I didn't script this. I'm going to just go and you can see it on the screen. I don't know if you can read that, but let's go back and you can interrogate, you can ask questions, and you could say, here, provide the 10 top, I put a typo there, reasons why I should use an AI. And so it's going to basically read what I wrote and then process it and then come back with information. Now you can see it's coming up with a list. So it says, why should I use AI? So increase efficiency and productivity, improve decision making with data-driven insights, 24/7 availability, automation of repeated tasks, enhanced customer experience, predictive maintenance of fault detection, personalization, customization, real-time process optimization, cost savings, improved safety and risk management. Well, you'll say, well, okay, so we can, I get makes lists, nice. Well, let's get weirder. Let's say, okay, well, you know what? Here, write PHP code to accept value in a field called temp. So I just asked it to code for me. Well, look at that. That is the code to accept a value in a field called temp. And here's the second part of the code to process it. Oh, wait, it's also talking about the HTML form. So the point is, you can see where this could really, really help you out. So you can break it down to say, okay, I want to build something. I want to create something. I want assistance in, and this could be in writing. For example, arguments for, here. How do I apply for a trademark in the US? That's a legal question. Well, to apply for trademark in the US, follow the following steps. Yes, it's a list again, but the point is this thing's able to go out with all of its data that it has. It's like, think of it as a huge database, except for the fact that it almost has a rationalized version of an answer as opposed to a strict database where you would say, I need to retrieve the information that is in this field, in this table, and that becomes very laborious, and you would need a programmer most of the cases to get the information out. This is structuring it in such a way, and then it gives you little notes, like on the bottom says, note, hiring a trademark attorney can help ensure that your application is properly prepared. And so it adds little disclaimers, it adds notes, it has, and it's always geared towards the human aspect of it. It's always going to recommend things that are good for society. I mean, this is the way it's been built. And you'll notice, like, if you were to try to make it say something or speculate on something, it will come back and correct you. Now, some of it is a bit interesting because I have been using it for research, and as you can imagine, just from a writing point of view, and I wanted to write about one of Buddha's cousins, for example, and they thought this is a great tool. Well, it turns out it's not, well, I can't say it's not in there because I actually managed to trick it to answer. But if I were to say, who tried to kill the Buddha, for example, here. So if I do this, it's going to say, it is not recorded in the scriptures and so forth. And again, I mean, doesn't have to be a religious thing. The point is you could use this from a historical point of view. But this information is actually inaccurate. And if you had the name of his cousin, which I don't have offhand because I'm just ad-libbing here, but the point is, if you ask who is that person, and what's strange is it will actually say, oh, that's the person that tried to kill the Buddha. So clearly that information is in there, but somehow there are filters to prevent you from reading it right off the... Anyway, so actually, you know what? It has changed. It has morphed. Early on, I transgress here. There are several legends and tales of various attempts to harm during his lifetime. Some of these attempts were made by members of rival sects and so forth. Okay, this is actually a very different response than I was getting last week when I tried this. I thought it would be consistent, but apparently it's not. It does learn as it goes along, apparently, which is the whole point of artificial intelligence. So it is now hinting that there were things, but I mean, obviously, in this particular case, the religion is all about nonviolence and so forth. So it is clear that that is not the message that you want to have. In Buddhism, that people were out trying to kill themselves or each other and so forth, because that just makes it sound less appealing as a religion, obviously, and it might, take away, I guess, from the wisdom and the compassion that was meant to be part of the message. But that's just going off into the field here at this point. So artificial intelligence, going back to poetry, you could write, stories, you can write articles from here. You could say, hey, write me, write an introduction to particle physics. And it's going to say particle physics is a branch of, and then it just goes on, and it's literally just writing me an intro. Now, as you can imagine, this is going to be, I won't say harmful, but it's going to be an issue to educators everywhere out there, because in theory, this is producing new text. This is not, something that it went and copied and pasted as a student might do when they're trying to, cheat or, counter something. You can't just pass off someone else's work. But in this case, what it's doing is it's gathering the information. It already has the information, and it's basically going through it quickly and, assimilating it and, sending you back what you've requested. Again, you can go and use this in so many ways. I mean, if you want to have lyrics, if you love a song and you say, hey, I love, let me try to think of two directly opposing things. If you were to think, I don't know, let's say you're a huge Judas Priest fan, you love Painkiller, and you say, I would like that song if only it was about loving flowers. Well, you say, okay, here, write lyrics about flowers to the song Painkiller by Judas Priest. And there you go. Now it's saying, in a garden full of beauty, I see petals soft and bright. Each one a symbol of the love that grows day and night. And so you can see, so instead of painkiller, all of a sudden it's flowers, they soothe my soul. I don't know if Rob Halford's out there, but it makes sound lyrics quite, it's a whole different ball game. And I'm guessing a lot of lyricists will stare at this and go, oh boy, it's, out it goes. Now, how well this would fit back on the refrain and then the whole, the actual song is a whole other question. I'm not musically talented. So I'm going to let one of you decide if this is something that would work out that way. Oh, I do like the outro. Flowers, they are my painkiller. They chase the darkness away. So that is quite different. So this is the aspect. This is basically a chat version of it. Now let's take a look at a way you can turn text into images. So there is this really cool site. There's multiple out there, so please be kind in the comments below. I'm not going to sit here and go through all the different AIs that are available for this. I'm going to use this one here. I'm going to say turn words into page. So what you do is you go into the AI and, okay, so I'm going to say I want a polar bear eating an ice cream, and I want it as digital art, and I say generate image, and let's see how crazy this turns out. Again, this is live and on the fly, so there you go. So you've got some interesting ones. I mean, and again, no one had to draw these, no one had to sit there and design them, and so if you want to see more, you click on more, and it'll just give you more results. Now, some of them will be weird looking, some of them will be unusable. So, dancing polar bear at a tea party. And now you want to have surrealism, concept art, portrait, cyberpunk. There we go. Let's try that and see what happens. So, I mean, clearly some of these are, are quite interesting. So, at the end of the day, that Santa Claus in the back, I'm not sure, but anyways, you can see how you can have a lot of fun with this. And yeah, I mean, if you need an illustrator and you're not necessarily too fussy, but these are getting better and better. I mean, this is just outrageously, I mean, obviously this is very whimsical, and anyone who knows me knows that I tend to go off on very strange subjects, so there you go. So this is how you can create art very easily, and of course you can get different styles, different oil paintings and whatnot, so you can definitely go and change things. And yeah, so there you go. This is artificial intelligence at its best, and this is why this is going to make a huge impact in a lot of industries. Imagine this kind of power, not only the ability to turn things into graphics for artists, but from a textual point of view, to be able to research things very easily. So if you're a medical student and you want to plug in things and get certain results, or you say what are the side effects of drug such and such, you want to, so the whole point, or what's this usually prescribed for, it's got a lot of information. The same thing with attorneys, the same thing with a whole, I mean, even in my industry, in IT, I mean, if you had a problem, you could say, hey, hi, how do I reset a router model such and such? It will go and give you the instructions. It will. So this is going to be a game changer, really. It'll do what Google did to us with their search engine, except this takes it a step further, where it's not just bringing back websites, it's bringing back actual knowledge. And it's not sending us to a bunch of web pages. It's saying, do this, here's a list. So that is, to me, a huge game changer. So I just thought I'd throw some news out there that I will be coming out very shortly with a couple of co-writers, a book about artificial intelligence, and it's poetry. So it's entitled Artificial Intelligence Lament, and it will include hundreds of poems, including some of my own. So it will include things. It's science fiction based, so anyone out there who knows me, I'm huge into sci-fi, so it will be in keeping with that that subject. And so we'll be talking about robots and aliens and, of course, artificial intelligence. So I'm Bob Pellerin, CTOBOB. I will put the link below. It will be on Amazon. If you like the subject or you have any comments that you'd like to share, go ahead and put them in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And of course, you could always visit us at www.ctobob.com. And thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.